Hi everyone, I'm Lachaîne. My session today about the futures of open education within post-secondary education in French-speaking minority in Canada. So as a Francophone, coming from an official language minority community, Ontario, the vitality of this community or those communities in Canada, both socially, culturally, and within the post-secondary education sector is really at the forefront of my research. Just a bit of context, in Canada, Francophone official language minority communities, it refers to all those French communities or speakers that are outside of Quebec, which is a majority population there. So there's 22 Francophone post-secondary institutions in minority settings in Canada. So this is across 9 provinces and territories. So they represent a marginal but no less important group in the Canadian education system. So you can see our beautiful flags over there. The largest institution is my institution, the University of Ottawa, which is actually a bilingual institution, which is interesting because it's put us in a kind of dual position. But just to give you an understanding, there's approximately 33, like a third of the student population who speaks French, who studies in French at the institution. So with such a small student community spread across the vast Canadian territory, and I've looked, like Netherlands is so much smaller than just Ontario there, so it's it's really spread out. So we can understand that educational resources and pedagogical support for those communities that has unique context, linguistic specialities are limited or really non-existent. Related to open education, so we all know Lambert's definition of open education, that is by and for marginalized or minority group for the benefits of their empowerment. So with that definition said, well, I have a beautiful group of people who could really benefit from open education, but in 2023, I did my master thesis project on this community to know, like, are they adopting OEPs or practices? And they did not. A lot of them didn't know about it, but they saw potential. So now, in my PhD, I want to see, like, is it even possible? What's the future for this community to use open education? So my kind of question so far is, what are the possible, plausible, or preferable futures for open education in those Francophone minority settings in Canada? What are the perceived gaps or actual gaps between these futures and the current reality on the ground? And based on those futures, how can we really achieve the promises of equity and social justice in open education? So the method that I'm exploring right now using is story completion method to gather my data. So this data is a kind of a narrative inquiry method where you propose a scenario, a prompt to your participant, and they give you kind of the end of the story. It's not related to their own experience. It could be really anything, but it's a kind of creative way to get information about a hypothetical scenario. I'm just going fast. I think it's particularly relevant to explore, like, the futures, because right now, like, it's so limited what's happening in terms of open education in this field. So to see, like, what's next, what can we, how can we achieve it? Then the way we will achieve it, I think we need to go to know the goal. So here we have kind of a diagram of what it means, like possible, plausible, improbable. I'm focusing on those ones because these are kind of the could happen. It's the imagination, it's the what we hope for instead of the projected future, which is kind of the business as usual path. So yeah, this is really quick, but I'm still finalizing my proposal, so there's a lot of tweaks and things that I need to figure out, but I'm really hoping for questions and comments and recommendations with that project. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.